Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. I have another gear here that we've got to do some modifications to and also machine some new bronze bushings for it. And this is a very similar gear to what we just recently showed on the channel. Belongs to the same customer. It goes to the linen company. And what I was told is that the gear where this goes, they can't get that exact gear anymore. So this one is what they need, but it needs to be modified. And so what we need to do is modify the hub length of this, and customer provided a drawing here that's got the specifications on what they want, the hub thickness right there, and then 2 bronze flange bushings that we're going to be pressing in from each side. So pretty simple job there. So the hub here is what's going to be shortened, and we've got enough room here that we can chuck this in the 4-jaw chuck. Grab that with a 4-jaw, get it all indicated nice and square, and then we can face this off. And I probably won't even worry about pressing these out since we're going to be putting new ones in there. We can face this off and just bore the ID out to get rid of the bushings and make sure that we do have a nice round and straight hole there. And then machine our 2 flange bushings there out of this piece of stock. Bought this from Cylinder Repair Components over in Robertsdale, Alabama. This is what they had in stock for me to use, and it's, you know, I get it the next day. So we'll go to the Monarch to do our machining on the gear, and then we'll go to our Victor lathe to machine the 2 bushings. So we'll go get started on it. I'm gonna get the 4-jaw chuck set. I always use these grooves machined in the face, and I'll line up on an edge here and get them both the same and use that as a reference. And then I do equal turns with the chuck wrench to get it out to the diameter that I want. So what I'll do is 1, 2, half turns, 1, 2, and then measure it. And that's right exactly where we need to be. Yep, that's it right there. So the hub measures around 5 15/16. So that's what I got it. That's what I got it measured at right there. And then we'll give ourselves a little clearance. So just do a quarter turn. Don't rotate it. Stick it in there and then snug up these 2 jaws here. I don't want to push it all the way up in there. We want to try to make it about as even as we can. Feels like it's sitting square on that bottom jaw, so we're going to snug the top one there. And we'll just be able to bump in this face though. Let's see how crooked I got it. We got some indicating to do, but it's not too bad right there. I think I'm going to back up here and take it back out of the chuck and go over there to the welding table and actually clean this rust off of here. It's kind of a rough. It's a rough feel there to it, so I think I want to get rid of this so that we can use this good clean face for indicating. So I'm going to go do that, and we'll come back and get it indicated. One thing to keep in mind whenever you're indicating parts like this is that there could be variations in the surface there, highs and lows. So what you do is you reference the 4 points where the jaws are at, and you want to try to make those exactly the same between there. So I'm looking to see where I'm at right here. That's that particular spot's 24 on the dial, and right there that's 22. So within 0.002 there. Let's come back to this one. That is 23. That one right there is between 23 and 24. So we're within about 0.002 right there where we're at. So now we need to go ahead and work on the ID, and because this is going to keep moving, you got to go back and forth. We're going to indicate the ID, but keep in mind, this has not been used. This is still a factory new bushing. It has no wear on the bore, so this should be a good ID to indicate on right there. This is a Starrett number 670 ID indicating attachment. It's what I like using on the bores. Very convenient. It just slips right over the indicator like this. Clamp it on and then put it on your ID. When I'm doing my indicating the way that I like to do it anytime I can, I want my indicator referenced directly in front of me, not up top, not on the back in any weird places, just directly in front of me. This is the jaw that I'm always focused on. That's where I want my indicator lined up with. Yeah, you can see I'm I'm off quite a bit right there, so we've got some indicating to do. And first thing I want to do is make sure that we have our jaw snug on the high side so it doesn't fall out. And then we're just going to be pushing it over. Once you get down to the last few thousandths, just tighten your highs. If it's too tight, then you're going to have to loosen it, but usually you got enough. So that's within a half a thousandths right there. And I can tell that the face is out a little bit. So let's go back to the face and do that. So I'm just going to leave this indicator set up just like this right here. Matter of fact, well, let me just move it out of the way. I've got another one here, a different type of indicator, this guy right here. And we'll just set this one up on the face here. Oh yeah, so we've got about 30 thousandths that it moved, which is normal. Looking for the high, right around that jaw there, and give it some bumps. This is a lead-filled hammer, by the way, so it's a soft blow. Holding it with your hand kind of takes the ring out of it whenever you bump it. So this is the highest one right here. About 2 thousandths. I didn't do anything. Doesn't seem like it's moving. There we go. There we go. Okay. So those two right there are even on the same number. Again, I'm not even worried about what line it is. I'm fixed it on that line where that needle's at. And right there we are 1.5 thousandths off. And I probably moved it too far. I did. That's based on how tight the jaws are at any given time. We have one jaw that's probably a little more loose than the other two, or the other three. And this just kind of takes some time. You know, you don't hit it exactly every time. You go too far and you got to go back and bump it again. And, you know, but I like to share this stuff because people are learning this. So right there, we're right where we need to be. So I'm on 49. That's 49, okay? So it's the same across. Let's come back to this one. That looks like 48, and that's 48. So we've got the face true now. So we'll go back to the bore, and let's see how bad the bore is. And we'll make that adjustment as well. So we're off about 14 thousandths total. Tighten the low. Make sure that it's snug. That's the tight jaw right there. One of those tight jaws is what will give you problems whenever you're trying to bump the face around. All right, so we got about 2 thousandths right there. Let's hit this one here and this one here. It's a 0.5 thousandths right there. See if I can get it out. That's pretty good. All right, back to the face one more time, and let's see if we moved it. I don't know if I got room. I guess I do. Yeah, we can do that. You guys might not be able to see that. I guess you can. Now that also may be where we're at on that face, but it should be pretty good everywhere we go there. So let's see, that's 70. That's less than 1 thousandths off right there. 70. That one is about 1.5 thousandths. I think we're going to leave that right where it's at and not worry about it, because that is true enough for what we're doing. We obviously do not have a completely flat plane across this face right there. You have a little bit of high and low, and our bore is spot on. So I think we're gonna call that good right where we're at. I don't want to spin it that fast. And that right there, you see that hub, how it's running off. I mean, that's a casted part. And that's why whenever I stuck it in there, that's why we were off so much, because this casting wasn't perfectly true with the machine portion of the gear right there. That looks good whenever you're standing here in line of sight. You can't even see that little bit of movement in the face right there. So we're good to go. I think we may just go ahead and just part this off. So we've got roughly 1 inch that's got to come off. So we'll just use some calipers to get a rough idea of what our hub length is right now. So it looks like they've got it 3 3/4 as a nominal width on it. We'll make sure that we're on it. We're going to use this as a reference right now. And they want it 2.780. So that's almost 1 inch. What is that? About 970 thousandths is what we got to come off of that right there. So I think what we'll do is put a parting tool in there, and we'll go a little shy and part the bulk of it off and then face it to our finished face length. We got our parting tool ready. I've offset exactly 1 inch, so that should give us about a 1/16 to face off of it. Got this rod chucked in the 20N chuck that we will use. Going to use that just to hold that hub whenever it falls off. Start by hand and see how it feels. Go in with some power feed and see how it does. Now what I would like to do before we go all the way in there with it, let's make sure I haven't goofed up. I'm going to go ahead and get a measurement here. Let's see, we want 2.780. Okay, so that's measuring about 2.840 right there. So I like doing that, just knowing that I'm not screwing up. So we'll go ahead and finish our parting op here. So I purchased some more of these tool holders from Pee Wee Tools. I got 4 for this shop and 5 for the new shop there. I just wanted some extra holders to have here and have some more tools set up. This is also a new turning tool from Walter right there, CNMG. I got one for the Precision Matthews lathe and I really like it, so got another one. So this one will live here for the Monarch and the Victor lathe. But I love these tool holders, man. I think they're just as nice, just as precision as the original multi-fix, and they don't break the bank either. So we've got 60 thousandths to face off of this hub. I've already done my measurement there, so we'll take a couple of passes across to here. We'll take one to clean it up, and then we'll take a finish cut. So we'll just take about 30 thousandths right here. Looking for 2-inch 780. I think we hit it. Next up, we'll get the old bronze bushings board out of here. Trying to sneak up on the size here and not taking too much out of it. Must have had it bored a little bigger than I thought it was. There we go. That should split it right there. That's typically how you want it to try to come out if you can make it do that. Where it grabs onto the tool and then you can just drag it out. So this is oil light that they used. It's got oil, it's oil impregnated. If it'll push it out. Yep. All right, there's our other one. So I did not touch the original bore there. I'm gonna go ahead and mic this. I wanna see where the factory has got this gear board, where they finished it out at. It's supposed to be 2 5/16. And they have it spot on. 2 5/16. It's 312.5. So there's no reason to touch that bore. It's still factory new. I also want to see how close it was on our indicating, you know, getting it indicated in our forge jaw. Let's see what kind of indicator run out we have there. I was making sure y'all could see that. So that is a few thousandths off, and I was wondering if it was so 1, 2, 3, so about 3 thousandths off. That makes me wonder, like whenever the bushings were made, were they made not concentric ID and OD? You know, maybe they were done in a 3-jaw chuck that wasn't perfectly centered, and you know, when they chucked them up to do a second op, if they weren't running true. But we're not going to mess with it because our bushings are going to press right into that factory bore. This bore should be machined true with the gear right here. So we're leaving all the factory edges alone. I just wanted to see how close we got it. So that was within 3 thousandths where we indicated on the bushing.